You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to Cards to the Moon. This is episode 189, and my name is Clark from 5 Card Guys on Instagram and 5cardguys.com. With me co-hosting as usual is Hyung of Integrity Sports Cards and John, who is Trade You at Recess. All right, off the top, we got another questionable Victor Wembanyama card making the rounds in the hobby world. First, it was the Panini Prizm Curtain card, which we talked about in a previous episode. Now, it's the Donruss Next Day No Autograph card. And when I say no autograph, I mean it says right on the card, quote, no autograph. All right, so what's going on here? Is this another Panini blunder of a card featuring arguably the most marketable player in the league right now? Or is this a genius marketing move by Panini to get everyone talking about this card? There's another theory. We kind of talked about it off air of what this might be. Do you guys want to chime in at this point? I think
we talked about it on an early episode where there was a exclusive deal that Wemby signed with Topps. So we're guessing that. And that's, I believe we said there was going to be no autographed Wemby cards in Panini this year coming out. So the base cards will be kind of like the chase card, or not the base cards, but like the parallels will probably be sought after because of that. And I believe he'll have autograph cards coming out when Topps basically gets their license. So that raises a lot of questions, even with the Bowman card. And stuff like that, right? So
right.
Do you guys know if this next day autograph has been a series before? Right? I don't even remember.
I believe so. I believe it's just their rookie auto, pretty much.
Like Giannis has a Donruss Next Day autograph.
Oh, does he really? Holy cow! Yeah. I don't even remember seeing that. Is it a sticker auto traditionally, or is it on card? Do you guys know?
I think the Giannis one, at least, I believe it's on card auto.
Oh, is it?
I could double check, but I believe that's, not a sticker.
Right.
Man, I'd be pissed if I pulled that. Your guaranteed auto is not a guaranteed auto, or does it end up having value, or do you take it in and get an in-person auto?
Right. Legitimate questions.
I wonder if it's a sticker auto and it's supposed to be instructions for the people. Since Panini's factor has been screwing up so much, they just had to clearly tell their employees, do not put a sticker on this one.
Yeah. As we talk about this, they should have wrote, if they're going to say no autograph on it, make it small, but leave a blank space for any collector to, get the auto themselves. That's a good way of getting around it,
Yeah, or maybe they thought there might have been forgery. People if you left it blank, it'd be like a perfect
right
thing to sign his card.
Also true.
And then sell it to some kid.
Right.
That's right.
I don't know if
that's a really good point.
I don't know if they meant to do this, but I actually think marketing wise it's if they did mean to do it, I feel like it is more on the genius scale than goof scale, because the next day auto is, to me, Donruss Next Day, that's not an auto rookie chase by any means. So screwing up that one or sacrificing that card to create continual marketing buzz around the Donruss product or Wemby in general, I don't know. If it's on purpose, I actually think it's a pretty smart move.
Well, I looked up the Giannis Donruss Next Day, and we are talking about Giannis, but his BGS 9.5 Auto 10 sold for almost $9,000 recently. Wow. So
it's a big card.
And it looks like an on-card auto like we were talking about before. So yeah.
I don't ever recall Luka Next Day auto or...
Oh, yeah.
I just put it on screen for the boys. But that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's not like the biggest chase,
right?
But it isn't rookie auto.
I have seen that card. I didn't realize that's Next Day.
I believe that. Oh, it says Court Kings, but it does say next day.
Yeah. It's probably just they changed it's Panini Court Kings, right? So it's
Right.
This year is probably just Panini Donruss. The next day autos are the same kind of the line.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I think it was Cblez's brother, that said that this is another genius move by Panini.
There you go.
I don't know how many times they could do this. This it looks like they made a mistake, and then everyone's talking about it. It just, we'll get to the point where everyone thinks Panini is a joke if they haven't already. So how many more times can they run this playbook? I don't know. But it looks like their days are coming to an end anyway. All right, let's move on now to hobby headlines. All right, pretty big news this week from Fanatics Live, which is that they are giving out $10,000 worth of Fanatics Live break credit for any customer who hits one of the 10 big cards listed on Fanatics Live, right? So from my understanding, the person that hits the card also gets to keep the card.
Right.
So this 10K break credit is on top of everything, right? So, and I looked at the fine print right before this recording, and I believe this offer is good for a month. Okay, so it's not indefinite, but it is good for a month. So quickly, the 10 cards under the 10 list are the 2023 draft Tom Brady gold autograph inscription card, which we talked about multiple times on this pod. Mm-hmm. The number 12 of 50 that says if baseball doesn't work out, there's always football. Card number 2, the 2018 Prizm Luka Doncic black Prizm 1 of 1. Who knows if that's already been ripped or not, but might be. 2009 Topps Chrome Steph Curry 1 of 1 superfractor, also kind of a mythical card. We don't know where that is. The 2022 Immaculate Chet Holmgren Logo Man 1 of 1. All right, there's something a little more modern. 2021, just for you, John, the Cup Trevor Zegras Shield 1 of 1 is also on that list. 2023 Anthony Volpe 1 of 1 debut patch autograph, which we talked about as well on this show. 2023 Prizm A Rich Black Finite autograph 1 of 1. Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I just wrote short form there. 2017 Topps Chrome Kylian Mbappe, his 1 of 1 superfractor. 2023 Bowman's Best Corbin Carroll him. I guess that's a subset. 1 of 1 superfractor autograph. And lastly, the 2023 Bowman Chrome LeBron and Bronny dual 1 of 1 autograph, which we talked about as well. So I want to talk about a couple things, but first, what do you think of that list? And is there a card missing on that list you would add?
Well, so to my understanding, they have to do this on a break. Mm-hmm. Who's breaking?
So they got to do the break.
Who's breaking those, like 2018 Prizm?
I know.
Who's breaking? who's breaking 2018 Topps Chrome like soccer?
The Top Chrome soccer. Yes.
Like that. Those are like insane prices. So for me, it's like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. What's going on here? What's really happening? Is it actually like you have to rip it on, or like you have to join a break and then it pulls on that? If that's the case, that's, to me, it's like it's impossible that those are going to get hit. And if they do, it's cheap marketing.
Right. For that card. Card.
Yeah, 10 grand. And I'm sure I would be pumped, 10 grand break credit, but it tells me two things: that they're, one, trying to get, I guess they're breaking more publicity, right? So
Fanatics Live, yeah.
Exactly. And I think it's a no-brainer. They need to start doing stuff like this because everybody's seeing the value of ripping, and there's zero incentive on one side. Like we talked about this, like, man, you thought ripping was bad like a couple years ago. Now it's even like worse, right?
Oh yeah.
So and this is what we hope that Fanatics would do. And I know people don't love the many parallels that come out today, but I think there needs to be the utility or more hits or something that can incentivize, you know, the end user as much as possible. And Fanatics is doing that with theirs. If you join any other break, let's just say you join like Pristine break, they do a lot of Bowman Chrome. They have superfractor bounties as well. If you hit a superfractor and it's a progressive like bounty, for instance. So those things I've seen people hit like a $6,000 cash superfractor bounty from entering these breaks. So yeah, it is kind of on, I guess, the breaker to, you know, give out good incentives. And to me, it's like Fanatics, that's all you're paying, because those cards, who's going to be breaking them, one? And two, if they do, you're paying $10,000 for millions and millions and millions of views on basically your breaking, you know, your whole brand. Right. So for me, it's a win-win situation for Fanatics, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, just to play devil's advocate when it comes to 2018 Prizm, right? Like the people that are going to open them are going to be like private collectors that have a lot of money.
Right.
Or, you know, if there's no one that willing to dish out that cash, then breaking that's what it's good for, right? Like you could divvy up the slots and you know, like still it's going to cost a lot per slot, of course, right? But this is just an extra 10K that you didn't have in terms of incentive.
For sure. Don't get me wrong.
So maybe
I wouldn't complain. Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't complain. Yeah, like, it's great.
If another breaker had a 2018 Prizm and then Fanatics Live, someone on Fanatics Live was breaking 2018 Prizm, which one are you gonna, you know,
right?
Which
there's more upside unless the guy breaking other 2018 Prizm does a $10,000 superfractor or like a black Prizm bounty where it's 10,000 cash.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So anyway, yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna put a pin on that because I want to come back to that later. But okay. John, what do you think about the list and just this whole thing in general?
I'm still gathering my thoughts. You know, when I first heard about it, I thought it was a great promotion, you know, but you know, it sounded great. You know, why not? $10,000. It incentivizes people to try to start using Fanatics Live. I understand it, and I thought it was and I still think it's a pretty good idea, but I do have some criticism. Like Hyung said, like once the list of the 10 came, like I honestly thought it was going to be everything ultra modern, everything that is like present day chase, like the brand new products that are coming out. Like, I don't know. I think this card has been pulled. I think I saw it, but like CJ Stroud, Kaboom 1/1, or anything that's sort of modern so that they're chasing, you know, whatever is sort of the 1/1 Wemby from the Donruss product, you know. So if you're not only hitting the best card of a brand new release, you know, maybe the card's only worth $5,000 or $10,000 and you get an extra 10 on top from like, that would have been amazing. But the fact that they put like Topps Chrome Steph Curry Superfractor, like a card that's been lost in the stratosphere for 20 years, and like Luka 1/1 black, and just these holy grail nonsense cards, like, I don't know, like that. So the list kind of threw me off a bit. I was like, okay, that, because, you know, if we happen to rip Topps and we get the Topps Chrome Steph Curry Super, I don't even care about the 10K Fanatics. Like,
that'll cover the grading fee.
I just hit the top, you know, the Steph Curry all-time card. It's going to sell for $10 million. Like, who cares about Fanatics, right? So I think it would have been, would have made so much more sense if it was of a present day, brand new release, so that everyone can chase and buy that product. And then they give you a 10,000 on top, similar to, you know, the Bowman 1/1 mistake chase bounties and stuff like that. I think that would have been really excellent. And I had a couple of more thoughts, but it's not coming up right now. But yeah, that's my initial thought.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, that's fair. Let me add to that though. Like, I think part of it is to get people's attention, right? Oh, the Luka Doncic black 1/1. You know, of course, that's a, you know, highly sought card in the hobby. Same thing with the Topps Chrome Steph Curry 1/1. But, you know, the other cards, kind of to your point, it lends itself better to this promo. You know, where, you know, I might buy a break trying to get that 2023 Bowman's Best Corbin Carroll 1/1 Superfractor Auto. You know, like, will that go for 10K? I don't think so. Right. But then the fact that, you know, you get to keep the card, which might be worth, let's say, 3K. Okay, I'm just throwing it out.
Oh
there.
yeah, that's another critique I had. Anyways, keep going.
But getting that 10K break credit, that's all bonus. But yeah, go ahead. Before you forget.
I was gonna say, what's the point of them saying you also get to keep the card? Don't you? Isn't that the whole point of a break? If you hit that card, that's your card.
It's like they're giving you value for keeping the card, for hitting the card.
Yeah,
it's like, by the way, you get to keep the card.
Amazing promotion, but you also get to keep the card. Like, what are you talking about? Like, of course I get to keep the card. That's my card that I hit in a break.
Maybe they want to make it absolutely clear.
It's not a bounty.
You don't have to
it's
trade it in.
Yeah, it's not a trade in
like
or
a bounty.
I would say. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Which is fair, because I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna trade Topps Chrome Steph Curry 101 superfractor for a 10K break credit. Yeah,
fair.
Like this could be a matter of like just like, I think the idea is good, right? And I think, and this is what my second question is, and Hyung, you already talked about it, right? But like this incentivizes the users, but it also forces other breakers to do something more than they already have been, if they haven't been doing anything.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It just shows you, Fanatics said this before. It's like they were more of a direct-to-consumer type business model, and that was kind of expected to come. So they're going to do things that benefit, their future, path or whatever you want to call it, right? So,
One last critique. I didn't like how you mentioned at the beginning. I didn't know this, but the 30-day it's like a 30-day promotion or something. That's way too short. Like if you need people to come in, like user experience and try to capture new customers, like to have this kind of holy grail chase promotion, like 10K bounty on a Topps Chrome Curry superfractor, like that should be like a lifetime bounty, not 30,
or a year,
30 days,
2024.
At least one year.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they'll extend it, but I could easily see them adjusting this, right? Like for other breaks, right? Like not for these Grail cards, but maybe you give $100, $200, $1,000 break credit just for people to break with Fanatics Live, for any one of one that you hit, because it is at the end of the day, it's great marketing for them. And, even with the 10, which is what they're calling it, like if you add it all up, even if every one of these cards were redeemed or found, it's only $100K from their marketing budget, which is nothing really for Fanatics.
Yeah.
Right. And it's good publicity for them. Like it's well worth $100K they would spend on this max. So yeah, I think it'll be more interesting to me at least to see what other breakers do in response. Right. And if this is just like a 1 month promo, then maybe other breakers don't have to do much. They just got to wait till this promo ends. But I feel like this is just a foretaste of what's going to be a regular thing, like providing break credits so people can return to your platform. It's going to be kind of like all these other platforms that we have in terms of buying and selling cards. Like the competition grows out there, but how do you differentiate yourself? You got to give something of value to your customer, right? So we'll see how it plays out. I wonder, even if in the course of the month one of these Grails will be hit. What do you guys think? You think that's a possibility?
I think they're probably ripping a lot of Bowman's best, or they have some, because they obviously positioned it where the Bowman Chrome or Topps Chrome Corbin Carroll has been pulled, right? So it's like they have to find things that are pullable, and they probably have stock in them, or maybe they're planning to like unload what they have in terms of the stock, and maybe they have all these cases of these sets and players, right? So that's why they're doing it as a month promotion, and they're basically trying to get as many eyes as possible to fill in the breaks, right? So but I could see like a lot of people saying like it's bad for the hobby, because now we're really treating it like a casino type environment. But for me, it's like, would you rather go home with nothing? You know what I mean? You got to have some incentives. Like for me, I'd rather have incentives in whatever I do. If I'm putting money in a break, it's like I assume all risks that I might not hit anything, right? But at the end of the day, if there's more chances to hit some sort of anything, where you're not going home empty-handed, you could call it a casino, but I'd rather be at a casino. Like, I'd rather win something with my money if I'm breaking than, than not. So I see a lot of those comments kind of, I guess, floating around saying it's bad for the hobby. And it's usually the hobbyists that, they don't want change. They're the ones who are complaining about basically, everything and anything to do with, releases, designs, they're the ones saying how bad Topps and Fanatics are for the hobby, but also they're the ones. So
I feel a better promo would be a 1-of-1 promo. Hit any 1-of-1 and you get some sort of bounty or prize in a break.
Yeah, well, maybe someone's listening from Fanatics Live, and then you're going to see that promo next month once this one is done. But one more thing I heard. Conspiracy theorists, Topps, Fanatics, they're in the unique position where they produce the product, so to speak. They're the manufacturers. So, there's some people that think, oh, they already know where the hits are going. They know where it's being distributed, right?
I was thinking about that, but I don't think, like I said, if that's the case, they already have allocated cases. But I don't think that's the case. Like, for me, if I'm running Fanatics, I'm not doing that. Because then that's like the quickest way to destruct your brand. You know what I mean? Like, as a CEO, if I'm Michael Rubin, there's absolutely zero chance I'm putting that on the line. And that's why it's like people need to think a bit more about like these things. It's not that black and white where, hey, you could just steal money like that. It's like, it doesn't work like that. Right. There's consequences to, brands doing things like that. So I think there's way too much to risk for that to happen or to even go down that route. I just think it could, if anything, they could already have cases allocated to it, and it becomes a monthly marketing thing where they plan to now do those breaks in the next month or so because they're ripping cases of that.
Right. And for me, I don't think it's likely, because I think in the episode a month or 2 months ago when we talked about Michael Rubin's comments on another podcast, he mentioned that they hired an auditor just to make sure that everything is randomized as it should be, right? So, and kind of it ties to what you said, Hyung, that they don't want to be discredited for any kind of like back in the old days when there's all these rumors that, if, distributors know exactly where the hits are going and they want to do it by the book. It seems that way to me anyway.
I think pre-Michael Rubin, and I'm not saying Michael Rubin's off the hook. It could certainly still happen. Yeah. But I wouldn't put it past them. Like, they have the power to control where a certain card could go. And I feel like they may have done that in the past. And, like, the internet's sharp. They find it right away. And remember, there was a whole sort of like a 12-month period where backyard breaks were getting everything. And you remember there was like they were kind of trying to get celebrities involved in like opening boxes. And I don't remember who it was, like a soccer stud or somebody that's not into cards at all, but they got him to open a pack of cards. And it just happened to get, like the Jackie Robinson cut auto. And I remember some lady was like, for promotion's sake, was like opening a box of Marvel, and she hit like the 1-of-1, like, like Black Widow or something like that, right? Like right. Is the placement of certain cards possible? Yeah, it is. But I think because of that era about a year ago, where it was just, I think the internet is very hyper aware of like placing. So clearly Michael Rubin and team is going to be super careful because of what Hyung said. Like, at this point, if you have 5 bounties out and all 5 hit on Fanatics Live, it could look a little, people might raise some eyebrows, right? So, and then this whole thing about authenticity and accountability and all that stuff starts to kind of fade away, right? So I'm sure they'll be as careful as possible.
Yeah, man. Like, honestly, you can't get anything by these internet sleuths in the hobby, right? Like, Honestly, if there's any unsolved crimes or unsolved murders, just leave it to the internet sleuth of the hobby. They'll figure it out. Just like, I think someone made that joke where, we would have never known it was Darren Fletcher's body on that Tom Brady card. Right. But you can't sneak that by us. Come on.
That ruins it. That ruined it for me. I'm still totally bitter about that.
I know. So disappointing.
Well, again, another episode for another day. Okay, well, like I said, we'll see if any of these big cards surface over the next month, and if any of them do, you can bet we'll talk about it on our next episode. All right, let's go to our next segment called Rank Them. Okay, so for this new segment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a list of 3 cards, and you just rank them from 1 to 3. Okay, 1 being highly desirable to 3 being the least desirable. It's all relative, of course. And don't factor in value, right? Don't say, oh, this is the most expensive card. It's just which of the 3 would you personally want to own for your PC? Okay? Simple as that. All right, I got a list of 4, maybe 5 if you have time. Here we go. The first list, we're just talking about the 10, the Fanatics Live, the 10 list. Mm-hmm. So I chose 3 of those. The 2023 Draft Tom Brady Gold Auto Inscription, number out of 50, number 12 out of 50. That's 1 card. Another card, the 2018 Prizm Luka Doncic Black 1 of 1. And the third, the 2009 Topps Chrome Steph Curry 1 of 1 superfractor. Oh. How would you rank them from 1 to 3, from what you would like the most as your PC to the least?
I'll go first. I'll go 1 Steph Curry, 2 Luka, 3 Tom Brady. Darren Fletcher.
All right. 3
Darren Fletcher.
Okay.
I am, because it is PC, it's so hard to not take value out of the Steph Curry. Like, you think of Steph Curry Superfractor, that's just such a monstrous holy grail.
But this is a card you're going to keep. You're not even selling. This is yours. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
If that's the case, excluding value, completely PC, I'm going Luka Black 1 of 1, Steph Curry number 2, Tom Brady number 3.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I'll start from 3. Tom Brady. Okay. I think we're all aligned there. And number 2, I have to side with Hyung, Luka, number 2, and then I'm going to keep the Topps Chrome Superfractor, Steph Curry. Yeah. All right. List number 2. Okay. This is from the 2024 Topps Series 1 baseball that's going to be coming out. And we're going to talk about it more in another episode, but one of the subsets is Baseball Stars Dual Autographs. Okay?
Sweet.
So there's 2 autographs, and there's a pretty long list. It's pretty impressive, but I'm going to choose 3 of them, and you tell me which one you would rather have from that set. Ichiro with Ken Griffey Jr. Okay, that's 1 card, dual auto. J-Rod with Ken Griffey Jr. That's another card that's on that list. And number 3, Aaron Judge and Derek Jeter.
Ooh.
So again, Ken Griffey's on this twice. Ken Griffey Jr. and Ichiro, Ken Griffey Jr. and J-Rod, and last one's Derek Jeter and Aaron Judge.
And this is in Top Series 1, 2024. It's dual auto. What kind? Is it like sticker auto? Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm guessing it would be for Top Series 1.
Yeah, probably has to be. Well, unless, they're retired ball players, so they might have time to sign. I got to go. Oh, man, this one's tough, but I got to go Ichiro, Ken Griffey Jr. 1, Aaron Judge, Derek Jeter 2, J-Rod, Ken Griffey 3.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any reason you chose that order?
For me, it's Hall of Famers. You got two. Well, Ichiro's going to have a spike in the next year or so. I think his nomination is next year, so I think he's gonna get in there. So, J-Rod, it's like cards that kind of his card. There's too many of his cards right now, right? So to me, it's kind of like watered down. Ken Griffey Jr. obviously is cool, but then Aaron Judge and Jeter would be cool. But like for me, I have a lot of Jeter autograph stuff, and they're not too scarce. I'd say he's still around. So I would say in that order, yeah.
Okay. Yep, reasonable. John?
I think Ken Griffey Ichiro is easy number one. So put that number one. Mm-hmm. The number 2 and 3 spots a little bit more difficult. I think what's going to take it for me is Hyung saying about J-Rod being just a lot of cards available. And also the fact that Aaron Judge is a little bit more established, right? Like J-Rod is not really like, no one would really classify him as iconic yet. So to put him with Ken Griffey, it's it might become, I don't know, like Kobe and Andrew Bynum. Like, who knows? I'm not saying J-Rod's going to be...
Whoa. I'm going to take this out of context
like that risk
and put it out there.
Could still be there. But
yeah,
Aaron Judge is certainly a lot more established as a stud, as a star, heading towards possibly the Hall of Fame. So I think Jeter and Aaron Judge probably should take the cake as number 2. For me, actually, personally, yeah, definitely number 2, J-Rod 3.
All right, so same as Hyung.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. It's going to be boring if I chose the same. So I'm going to do Ichiro, Ken Griffey, number 1. I'm going to go J-Rod, Ken Griffey. I'm all in on J-Rod. I'll take the risk with J-Rod.
I like that. I like that card. Yeah.
Yeah, right? There's risks there, but, I love the ceiling. And then, Aaron Judge, Derek Jeter will be number 3.
I will say the J-Rod Ken Griffey could be a really cool card in the future, though. Like, because if you look at, like, like, let's just say 40 years, 50 years have passed. Which one aged better? That Ken Griffey J-Rod could have an argument. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But do you think...
I'm willing to take that risk.
Do you think it would have... So J-Rod is still at risk of maybe not being a Seattle Mariner for 10 plus years, Like if let's say in 3 years he gets traded, does this card still become iconic in the future? Let's say J-Rod does become Hall of Famer and he's huge.
Right.
Yeah, I think so, because Griffey was a Cincinnati Red, for a long time as well, but that didn't really change his legacy with Seattle and the name he established with Seattle. But I think it's just it highlights it more because J-Rod has been compared to the next Ken Griffey Jr. And then seeing that like kind of like if you were to see like a dual auto of Mickey Mantle and whatever the next generation was, in the 70s or 80s, or Mickey Mantle and Derek Jeter or whatever. That's a bad comparison, but like someone who was equal, where they're supposed to be the torchbearer or whatever it is, right?
Right. No, but what I'm trying to get at is let's say J-Rod is in Seattle for less than 5 years, and he plays the rest of his career with the Cincinnati Reds and becomes a Hall of Famer. Then he becomes more iconic as a Cincinnati Red than he did a Seattle ball player, right? It's kind of like backwards. Like the Cincinnati Reds Ken Griffey Jr. autos are not worth as much. Close to the Seattle, because the Seattle is iconic Ken Griffey, right? So there's still that risk. Whereas Aaron Judge, even if he got traded at this point, you could almost say he's kind of becoming like an iconic New York Yankee character, right? So
true.
Anyways, just a thought.
So if J-Rod went to Cincinnati under that scenario, you think the J-Rod and Johnny Bench card would be worth more than the J-Rod and Ken Griffey Jr.?
It could be if he became like the iconic Cincinnati Reds player, right? Like if he played 10, 15 years there and became a Hall of Famer and hit 500 home runs. I don't know, whatever he does, right? I'm just saying.
Interesting. Fair enough. Okay, let's go on to list number 3. All right, here's basketball for you. All iconic cards. You ready? 1986 Michael Jordan Fleer, rookie card, of course. The 2003 LeBron James Upper Deck Exquisite, rookie patch auto. And third, Larry Bird Magic Johnson Dr. J, with all 3 IP autos on it. Which one would you rather have?
And sorry, what was the MJ one?
The 1986 Fleer.
Just a Fleer. Nothing to it. I'm gonna go LeBron Exquisite 1. The Bird
Magic Dr. J.
Magic Dr. J number 2 for sure. And then 3 has to be just the Fleer 86 MJ.
Interesting.
Yeah.
when you said just a Fleer MJ 1986.
Well, no, you're talking about the exquisite. You're talking about exquisite LeBron, and it's just like, whoa. And then you're talking about, IP auto of, Dr. J, Larry Bird. Like that's
true.
Pretty big cards.
Yeah. I told you to take the value out of it too.
Yeah, no. If it was like MJ signed Fleer 86, I'd be like, ooh,
okay.
Now you're talking.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny.
I'm going. It's going to be Jordan, MJ, the triple card, the Topps MJ, Larry Bird.
No. What? That's
isn't that what you're talking
Larry
about?
Bird, Magic Johnson.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Magic Johnson.
I was saying MJ. Yeah, Magic Johnson. And Dr. J.
Dr.
And
J.
then 3 is LeBron for me. I'm gonna look like a hater, but I have to think of it as if these are 3 $10 cards. Like for sure, I'm picking Jordan, then the Topps card, and then LeBron.
Okay, I mean the LeBron is a rookie patch autograph card.
It is. But you're asking me about my PC. I can't have LeBron on my PC over Jordan Fleer. There's no way.
All right. Okay. I think I'm gonna go with the LeBron Upper Deck Exquisite RPA is my number 1. This is the hard one, number 2. Because MJ is more personal to me, right? I never seen Larry Bird, Magic Johnson play, obviously, but they are iconic players. Yeah, I'm gonna go with MJ Fleer number 2. I think I would like to show that off more at my place if someone came by, rather than the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Dr. J card. All right, I had to think about that one. Okay, here's the last one. We're going back to baseball. This might be the hardest. Mickey Mantle, 1952 Topps.
Oh boy,
iconic. T206 Honus Wagner.
Oof.
Another iconic card. The Shohei 2018 Bowman Chrome superfractor.
Superfractor.
The superfractor.
Damn. I'm sorry, like people might crap me for this, but I gotta go number 1, Shohei Ohtani superfractor.
Oh,
I'm sorry, it's superfractor. I'm rolling the dice. I'm saving up for a nicely graded 52 Mantle. I'm taking that Shohei superfractor. God, this is tough. And I'm going to actually go the T206 as 2 and then the 52 Mantle. Although like 52 Mantle is a must, I just think the Honus Wagner is such a rare card. Like it's just like that's probably one of the most iconic cards, other than I would say it's either the 52 Mantle or the T206. But I'm going to go with T206 just because the scarcity.
Fair. Yeah.
Oh, this is tough. For me, T206 is number 3 for sure. Yeah, from a PC perspective, if I were to take value out, it doesn't really mean anything to me. No disrespect. Number 2 is kind of hard. I mean, 1 and 2, man, this is tough. I think it'd just be too. I mean, Ohtani is the hot player of the month. He's the buzz, all the rage, and I just think maybe we're being very short-sighted, but we could be looking at an absolute unicorn player that he's history in the making as long as he stays injury-free, right? Which is a big if, but. I think to own his Superfractor 1 of 1 would be just too cool for a personal collection. So I'm going to maybe sound like an idiot, but I'm going to also roll the dice and go Ohtani 1 and Mantle 2.
Are you saying Hyung might sound like an idiot too by saying
to the two of us,
I
sound great. I think he sounds great, but listeners might think we're complete idiots.
Oh boy. No, I understand. But you know what? one of us has to be level-headed on this podcast, okay? So I'm going with the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle, number one. I feel like it transcends time, right? Like,
it does.
We never seen Mickey Mantle play, but we're still talking about the Mickey Mantle. Even when I started collecting as a kid, I was talking about the 1952 Mickey Mantle Topps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is like a special card.
Yeah.
I knew it was a special card, you know? And I think that will pass down the generations. So I'm going to go with the Mickey Mantle 1952 Topps. Then I'm going to go with Shohei as my runner-up because, T206, of course, is iconic, but you got to be a baseball card nerd. Not even a baseball nerd, a baseball card nerd to really appreciate the T206 Honus Wagner.
Right.
So I'm going to go with that as my number 3 choice. All right, that's fun. We'll see. We'll put some of these lists up on our socials and see how people vote, especially the last one, Mickey Mantle versus Shohei. That'll be an interesting poll to put out there. And then we'll let you guys know how that poll does. Okay, let's finish off this episode with our regular weekly segment we call Pick One. All right, so this is, if you're new to the pod, this is when each of us chooses 2 cards, and then we debate which one we would rather invest in. All right, so Hyung, as usual, do you want to start things off?
Sure, I'm actually going to go, I got 3 cards, sorry, breaking the rules a bit, but it's Hall of Fame.
That's fine.
It's Hall of Fame
Oh,
week.
yeah.
So we're going to go with the base Chrome cards because prices are interesting. So we first got a 1997 Bowman Chrome Adrian Beltre, PSA 10. Pop 109. Okay?
Wow.
Last sold for $400. And these have been going up. So it's been selling anywhere from, $300 last year down to $260-ish. And then now it's up to $400 with the news. We're going to pair that up with a 1996 Topps Chrome Todd Helton PSA 10. Pop 23. And there's only one that finished on bid for $180 in November.
Ooh.
Okay, so Pop 23, there's a couple listed. They're not $180 though, so who knows what that price is. But compared to $400, that's pretty cheap. And then last, the 2002 Topps Chrome Joe Mauer PSA 10 with a pop count of 56, sold for $420. Who are you taking?
Interesting. So what's the pop count for the Beltre again?
The Beltre is a Pop 109.
And the Mauer again is?
Pop 56. Pop 56. And then the Todd Helton is a Pop 23.
Gotcha. All right. I can go first. I'm going to take Helton out of the running. I think in terms of popularity, Beltre and Mauer are 1 and 2, right? So that might explain the lower pop. Not everyone's racing to get a Todd Helton rookie card graded, a PSA. So that's why I'm going to take Helton out. I'm going to go with Beltre. I think the personality wise, it is a higher pop, but it's not like super high still. And I think, he's just a fun guy to watch. And I think whatever he does post baseball, I think he'll be entertaining in whatever he chooses to do. But so yeah, I think Adrian Beltre is the guy. And personally, I love seeing him play. And what was he, a third baseman?
Third baseman.
Yeah, so versus then we could get into the whole catcher thing with Mauer. For those reasons, I'm just going to stick with Beltre.
Yeah, no disrespect to Todd Helton, but if he's making a haul, like, what are we doing with Barry Bonds? Like, what are we doing right now? Barry Bonds can't make it, and Todd Helton does. Like,
no, but I will say Todd Helton, out of anybody, he's one of the most underrated hitters. But because of the course field,
monster years.
Yeah, he hit 372 one year with like 40-something home runs.
Yeah, he's a Colorado legend.
Pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I'm good. You know what? Like, none of these players were ever players that I closely followed or particularly liked. But I think of the 3, the one that stood out for me the most in terms of, I don't know, my own personal likability in general. And the years between 2000 and 2000, like up until recently, to be honest, I didn't watch too much baseball. I got a lot more into football and hockey in those years. So those are the years where I really kind of missed out on baseball. But I'm going to go Joe Mauer over Beltre. I think Todd Helton will be number 3 for sure. He's more of like a Colorado like legend. If you're like in the Colorado area, I think you would pick Todd Helton. But in terms of the remaining two, I get what you're saying. Like Beltre is probably the more flamboyant, popular personality. But I don't know. I feel like the baseball world, I don't know. I like Joe Mauer personally.
Yeah, there's not a lot of catchers, I'd say, in like Hall of Fame catchers, period. There's not a lot. There's only a handful, and they get no love. Like Johnny Bench is probably one of the most, popular, I'd say. But like other than that, there's like obviously you have like Piazza and you have all the '90s greats, but they get no love. And I played against Mauer when he was in the minor leagues, and he was a guy that I was always like, wow, this guy is special. This guy is one of the best players I've ever seen in my life. Type players when you watched him play. And obviously his career unfolded that way. But I also got to see Adrian Beltre play when I signed with Seattle. I mean, Ichiro was on that team. Beltre was on that team. Yeah, so I like Beltre was built different, man, and his character, he's freaking hilarious. He's always joking around, and I think for me, like that would be the reason why I would probably pick Beltre over Mauer, is because like even though the pop count's higher, I think the likability of Beltre, like you guys are mentioning, is a lot higher. A lot of people like his character and the fact that he was a stud. I mean, he hit home runs off of one knee. He popularized that, which was amazing. To this day, I'm baffled by it. Gold Glove third baseman, just very good at what he does. And there's not a lot of good third basemen. I'd say, he's up there with the best of them. I'd say Mike Schmidt is probably one of the best all time, which he's super underrated, I think, just from the get-go. But someone like Adrian Beltre, third baseman, that Hall of Fame class, he looks really good in it. So, yeah, I'm going to go Beltre.
Nice. With the Hall of Fame announcements, I've been seeing a lot of like social media posts, of the players that were inducted this year. And I saw one with Joe Mauer. He was like an all-time athlete. He was like the best quarterback on his football team. Yeah. He was really good at basketball, and he just decided to just pursue baseball. He had to choose one essentially.
Yeah. Pick what you want to be a superstar in. You're gonna. Your wish is the universe's command.
He was an all-star. And then there was another clip of Max Scherzer. He had to invent his like cutter just to strike out Joe Mauer, because he's like. He's like, this is the only way I'm going to get Joe Mauer, because he's like, he can recognize a slider any day. So he had to create like this cutter pitch. Anyway, that was kind of interesting. And then with Beltre, I don't know if you saw when he got the call that he would be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Like he pretended he wouldn't answer the phone, and his family says, pick up the phone. Like he's even joking around with his own family. That's hilarious. So I gotta see that. Yeah, goes to his character, like we've been saying. Funny guy on and off the field. All right, but that's a good one. I forgot about the Hall of Fame news, yeah.
All right.
John, you got one?
Yeah. So last week we started to dip into like the iconic top 100. And these are two cards that I thought about, but I didn't mention. Shout out to our boy DC Chan for reminding us. But I'm going to put up two cards that I personally think that these are top 20 all-time iconic cards. It's going to be 96 Topps Chrome Kobe, PSA 10, of course, going for around $4,500-ish. I think there was like a $6,000 sale recently that was, or $6,500, but it's kind of an anomaly. I don't, verified sale, but of the averages, we're looking at $4,500. And
sorry, that's the Topps?
Yeah, Topps Chrome, 96 Topps Chrome Kobe.
Oh, Chrome.
Yeah, PSA 10, $4,500 USD. Wow. Versus, I think you guys know what's coming, 2003 LeBron Topps Chrome, also a PSA 10. Also going for roughly around $4,500. So what, investment wise, moving forward, which is the better card, investment wise?
So those Topps Chrome Kobe's, they're notorious for greening,
Hulking.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps, and yeah, that's a good point. Perhaps the $6,500 sale was a perfectly zero greening card. Who knows?
Right. Do you know the pop counts by chance or no?
I think the Kobe is like 800 something for a PSA 10, and the LeBron is like 2,200-ish, somewhere around that number, over 2,000.
Yeah, you know what? I love that 96 Topps Chrome Kobe. Like that's to me, that thing is a grail. It's always been a grail for me, and they're not getting any, more common. It's a lot rare. Pop 800 in this kind of marketplace is pretty rare, especially for a GOAT type player like Kobe. So I got to go Kobe for me.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Kobe as well. Like in terms of like Kobe's best cards, like for just any Kobe fan or Kobe collector, that Topps Chrome is gonna be in your top 5, probably even in your top 3. It's just like the image and everything. Whereas I don't know if I would include that LeBron Topps Chrome rookie card in my top 5 out of his best cards, because he has so many others that I just like more, whether it's the more expensive high-end RPA that we talked about before, but like, and it's just kind of your base card. I looked at the pop count for PSA 10. You're right. It's about 2,300 versus 836 for the Kobe. So even that's another reason why I'm heavily going towards Kobe Bryant for this one.
Yeah.
We know your answer, John.
Yeah. Well, it's a Kobe sweep. You know my answer.
Next.
Yeah. The 96 Kobe, man, it's like when I got back into the hobby a couple of years ago, like literally when I got back into it, because I've told this story before, but my cousin's wife, like I had left my card collection at my old place that my cousin took over in terms of renting. And I asked him somewhere down the line, like, have you seen my box of cards? Should be in this closet. He's like, I've never seen it. I'm like, okay, it's gone. And then one day his wife sends me a picture. This is during COVID. And she's like, are these your cards? And it's a bunch of like Kobe rookies that I had from back in the day. I'm like, where did you find that? So I collected it all. She gave me the box. And my first thought was, I'm not into sports cards like heavy anymore. I still love it. I enjoy it. Like I love observing it from afar, but I would love to sell all this. And I think the Kobe at that time was going, this is before he died, was going for probably around $1,000. And I was like, I'm going to sell all this and just get that one card, Topps Chrome Kobe 96. And it's nice. That was, that was my sort of step back into it. And then also my painful story of collecting 96 Finest instead of Topps Chrome.
Right. Yeah. Look into the Cards to the Moon archive for that story. It's pretty funny. All right. Good one. Okay. All right, here's mine to end our pick one segment. All right, I'm going to go soccer. We don't usually do soccer, but I'm going to go soccer because there were 2 Lionel Messi cards that sold last week, January 18th on Golden, and one on eBay, actually. So one of them was the 2004 Panini Sports Mega Cracks Barca Asion, number 62 card. It's a rookie. PSA 10 sold for $4,100, and the pop count is 87. Okay, $4,100. 87. And the other card is 2022, more modern, Panini Prizm World Cup Qatar, the Zebra Choice Prizm of Lionel Messi in his Argentina uniform. PSA 10 sold for $4,270. So let's say $4,200, both exactly the same price. And that pop count is 4 in the PSA 10.
Oh, wow.
What was the first card again?
It was his Mega Cracks, Panini Mega Cracks.
Oh, the Mega Cracks.
Yeah, where he looks like he's just about to kick the ball.
Yeah, the iconic Mega Cracks, like the.
Yeah, his it's kind of like one of his main rookie cards.
Yeah. Oh man, the Argentina zebra, that does look nice.
With the stripes and everything, you know?
What's the pop on the other one?
That's hard. 4 versus...
Pop count? 87 for the rookie and 4 for the zebra.
And they're both PSA 10?
2022 World Cup. Both PSA 10, yeah.
Man. I do like the zebra. Like, I really do like the zebra, but I don't think I could take that over the Mega Cracks 2004. It's too modern versus more of a, like, that's a low pop count on a big time rookie card of a big time GOAT type player. So I'm gonna go with the 2004 Panini Sports Mega Cracks.
Oh,
okay,
man.
There you go. Look at the peak on this price of that Mega Cracks was
Jeez.
over 40K, 42,000 at one point. So it's a tenth of its price right now.
Good Lord.
What a steal. That's my next IG reel. Let me put a bookmark on this.
Yeah, this is a good one. It's actually tempting because I think that Prizm year Messi's card is going to be an iconic card. It already has iconic imagery. Like, we saw it so much during that hype that everybody knows about it, and there was the digital versions that had bounties and all that, yada yada yada. It's a big card, and I'm very tempted to pick it. Because I think it does still have long-term value, but man, you have to pick the Mega Cracks though. I think there's going to be a segment of fans that appreciate the fact that it's the year the Prizm card is the year he won. Argentina jersey, it's just cool, and it's like, you know, chromium card, zebra parallel. It's just a great looking card. But there's only a segment of fans that might really appreciate that as like a super PC, like I want it badly. Whereas the rest of the world, even people like us that would dabble in investing into soccer, we would probably go for Messi, and we're probably going to go for Mega Cracks. I think there's just such a wider audience that if you needed to flip the card or trade it or whatever you needed to do, it's going to be super, super liquid and easy. So, by default, you got to pick the Mega Cracks. That's also the more iconic. It's overall the more iconic card, although a little bit boring, a little bit paper, but yeah, Mega Cracks.
Yep. Good reasons. Oh, I think I'm gonna go for the zebra.
No,
I think I'm gonna do it.
Wow.
I mean, like, okay, you know what? I should have asked. I just interviewed Stock and Trade, and he'll be in a future episode, but. He's into soccer cards, so I should have asked him that. But like, there are a bunch of different Lionel Messi Mega Crack rookie cards. Like, that's not the only one.
Right.
There's a Campion one. Yeah. So I don't know what the hierarchy is.
Right, that's true.
So like,
too.
Right. So I don't know what, like, and in terms of the image, like, without even looking at value, like, I like the other Mega Cracks better. Like the one that it's kind of an awkward picture. This
I think that they have a higher pop count on that.
Has a slightly higher pop count as well. The other one, it's 182 versus 87, right? But still relatively, low, right? And so for all for those reasons, and like everything you mentioned, the 2022 Prizm was the year that Argentina won. Lionel Messi getting himself out more in the news in North America, playing for Miami. Panini Prizm as a brand, as a soccer card brand, is still pretty big. Just barely gets it over the hump for me to go for that card.
I forgot the Mega Cracks had multiple versions. That's how little I follow soccer cards.
We'll get a soccer card professional on the show, and then we could get educated in the future. But all right, well, that's it for this episode of Cards to the Moon. We appreciate you guys listening in, and we'll have a brand new show for you guys next week. Talk to you then. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.